Are you saying what you mean and meaning what you say? I am visiting my parents right now, and I have realized that there are some people pleasing tendencies that I have kind of been on autopilot about, especially when it comes to like family obligations and things. But I realized that there were so many times where I would say yes to things, where I'd be like, say, oh, it's fine, out of obligation, even if it was something that I didn't want to do. And, at the time, it's like you kind of get used to that. You kind of get used to putting yourself on the back burner, and you don't realize that when you do something like that, you are actively going against what you truly want. And whether that be because you've experienced conditioning, or you've experienced trauma, or any of those types of things, there are reasons why our sometimes we go on autopilot and we make these decisions in order to keep the peace, or to we do things that don't necessarily align with what we truly want, but we do them because they are there to make us feel safe, or we are so used to it and we are so comfortable with responding in this certain way, even if it doesn't serve us. And okay, so where I'm going with that is that yesterday we came into town and we went and we visited my parents for a little bit, and nobody was home at the time. It was kind of like not really planned or whatever. And then we decided to leave, and there was this expectation that we were supposed to be going back. This wasn't like really discussed, or it wasn't really a plan that was set in motion, but there was like, a little bit of conversation going back and forth, and like there was definitely like an expectation on my parents' part, like that I was going to be coming back. And my dad even had like my niece call, and ask me like, "Hey, where are you? Why aren't you here?" And I had to tell her, lovingly, that we are not coming back today. We will see you tomorrow, because we had been traveling, and so we purposely booked a place to stay, not with my parents, so that we had the room for us to decompress and the space for ourselves, which is so important. And it just makes me truly appreciate all of the things that we have built together. And like, there's just so many little things that I have been discovering and learning on this trip. But anyways, back to like the expectations and the boundaries. And so even after I got that call from my niece, which like to me, like low-key felt like this kind of like tactic to like guilt me into coming and visiting anyway. And it's just like, I had to set that boundary and say, no, I'm not doing that. Actually, I need to have the space to myself. I mean, I didn't explain all of this, but I knew that if I would have said yes and gone, I would have showed up, I would have been exhausted, I would have been cranky, I would not have been in the right energy. I was not in the space to um to be there. And like I am standing firm on that, and so at first I felt a bit of shame and guilt come up, and it was like, oh, am I being, like part of the story that came up was like, oh, you're not being a good daughter because you're not going and spending every second that you have with your family. And I'm like, actually, let's reframe that. I am taking care of myself and my family in a better way by not forcing us to be, first of all, cramped in the same space, all sleeping under the same roof with not enough room. And and we also have my dog. So by creating this space and by giving us room to breathe, it's given us an opportunity to be able to calm our nervous systems and show up as ourselves, fully rested, and to be able to actually enjoy the time that we have with each other. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I felt, I'm not gonna lie, I felt pretty bad about it yesterday. And then like as I let the feelings come up and I address them and I listen, I'm like, okay, that's not, it's not the worst. And those stories don't have to be true. And I used to make that true. So anyways, that's just like a little bit of the people pleasing that I noticed come up for me, and I was able to like let that go. And yeah, so I don't know. Do you have any type of like obligations that you have with family, coworkers, friends? Like, are there certain people who like expect things from you? Um, and they like, kind of use these passive aggressive ways to like let you know about it, or shoot, I have another part of the family where it's like we don't want to be around those certain people because of the way that they are, and like that is a boundary that we have set, because there are certain people who don't deserve your energy, and by limiting the amount of interaction that we have with certain people, it's like we're just happier. Life is so much better when you're not just doing things for other people and you're actually listening to yourself. So I don't know. That is what I wanted to share with y'all today. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day.